Hello Talk family, and welcome back to another episode of Talk the Talk. I'm your host. My name is Desh, Pillay, Bechan, and today we're driving into the legal side of motoring, because behind every deal and policy there's a specialist keeping things on track. So joining us is Crystal Naicker. She's the legal and compliance specialist at BAIC South Africa. She's the bridge between the law and the motoring world, making sense of regulations so business can thrive. Now, before I say without further ado, let's welcome her. I want you to know that she flew all the way from Port Elizabeth, now Kibera, right? How do you pronounce it? Kibera. Okay, I'm going there tomorrow, by the way. So without further ado, please help me to welcome Crystal. And as always, this interview is proudly brought to you by Seriti Solutions and MFC, a division of Nedbank. Hello, Crystal.
Hi.
Crystal, thank you so much for coming all of this way to see me.
It's such a privilege and an honor to be here.
Aww.
Lovely to meet you and your wonderful team.
Aww. We feel the same way, especially when women like yourself make such huge efforts to lend your voice to our platform. And I mean, you have to travel miles to get here. It's really big, and then we'll get to why it's very special that this year it's important for you to be here. But let's first talk about how your journey in the trade began.
Okay, so actually, just to digress a little bit, I wanted to be a vet or a scientist growing up, but realizing I cannot handle a blood or anything icky, the second choice was law. And I studied law, went into practiced for a few years, went into a little bit of consulting, auditing to try and understand the customer pool, corporate business world. Went through the processes, and I joined a tier 1 supplier in the automotive industry, worked there for 7 years, and now I am at BAIC, and it's been now 7 months.
Okay, and are you enjoying it?
Yes, I must say I'm enjoying the spec. I'm enjoying the portfolio.
Okay.
It's really.
And what do you see for BAIC in the near future?
There is going to be huge growth. Our viewers need to watch.
You do know that's a BAIC, right?
Oh yes, I did. I was noticing it, and I thought that was the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, that's a BAIC that has never been launched in South Africa, but I did a review on the car, on the model car one time with one of your colleagues. But yes, BAIC have two nice products at the moment, which one is the car of the X55 or Contender, and the other one is the B40. So we hope to see more, because they are beautiful vehicles.
How did you find the test driving of the X55 and the B40?
Amazing. It was absolutely. I love the B40 as well because of the off-roading capabilities. I'm a bucky person, so I loved that. And the X55, very classy. That Beijing looks beautiful, even the one that you arrived with. So I've had it in silver, I think, and you've got a couple of different beautiful colors, and I know that BAIC is capable to obviously showcase this product, and I can't wait, because it was in 2018 when they first came, and I test drove some cars, and then they did not continue with the production line, but now they're back, I think bigger and stronger, and I'm gonna get to visit the plant in PE on Saturday, so I'm very excited about that. So what do you enjoy most about your role?
What I enjoy most is assisting departments to problem solve.
Okay.
I enjoy fixing people's problems, especially in the legal and compliance industry.
Okay, so I can now confirm in front of all my audience that you will fix our legal stuff if there should be any.
Of course.
Yeah, I got free services.
Pro bono.
Pro bono. So lucky. You're a great champion for and a catalyst for women taking up space, and for for positive transformation in terms of women in leadership roles. Why?
I just, coming from both a background where women are not really identified as leaders and identified as independent, especially in the Indian community. I felt it's very important to set an example for our younger generation to become independent, to become a voice for our younger generations, because we will not be on this earth forever.
Yes.
And it is important to start with yourself.
Absolutely.
Look at yourself first, and then look at how can we transform to better ourselves.
Okay, and I just like the back end of that question. I'm going to say something to you now. You've been nominated for the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards.
Oh wow!
Okay, you are in the semi-finals.
Oh wow!
And I think you might be heading for the finals. So that's not confirmed yet. There's a vetting process. So congratulations, because you've already come this far.
I am truly humbled.
You didn't know, right?
I had no idea. I am actually bursting with joy inside.
You were nominated by Amina, who was one of our past winners last year, I think, and she really believes that you deserve this recognition, and that you deserve because of the way you are. And that's what it is. It's not, we talked about this last week when my sponsor was here. It's not about your KPIs or what position you hold, or it's all about what you actually did today. It's about lending your voice to empower, or empowering where you are. That's going to be the determining factor from all the different OEMs of who is going to take a certain award. So congratulations.
Thank you very much, Desh, and thank you to the team as well. I appreciate, and I'm so humbled. Very humbled.
We'll celebrate in PE in the win.
Of course, on Saturday, definitely.
In terms of legalities, let's help our community, okay? What is the most important aspect should companies bear in mind when engaging with the parties, or third parties especially, on a legal basis?
So what is very, very important, especially in the automotive sector, is to ensure that you look at your starting point, which is your contract. Everything stems from your contract. So your contract needs to be ironclad. It needs to be airtight. So you need to ensure that you have, for example, the arbitration clauses or the dispute resolution clauses, warranties, liabilities, the responsibilities of each party, clauses whether there's going to be an appeal or not, because remember, the cost of an appeal in a court, you're looking at about 1.3 million rand.
Sure.
And why would you want to?
When you're saying you're talking about now the purchaser, right?
So I'm talking about where there's either a contract between the supplier and the OEM, or the customer and the OEM.
Okay.
So that would be your third party, the customer or the supplier or contractor.
Okay. All right. And would you recommend litigation first at court level, or at arbitration level should a dispute take place?
So I would definitely suggest arbitration at the AFSA, the Arbitration Foundation of Southern Africa. Reason why is the process is very speedy, very quick, opposed to the court process. So at iCourt at the moment, we're looking at a 5-year waiting period. Perhaps the quickest would be 18 months. And who would want to wait 18 months to have their dispute settled? Whereas at arbitration, it would be quite speedy. The process is a little bit more informal as opposed to High Court. And based on whether there's an appeal clause or not at arbitration level, you would get your arbitration award, and you could confirm that at High Court level should you want to. Okay.
And in terms of, you obviously as head of compliance, that's the title you hold. What would you regard as the most important compliance legislation in South Africa that affects the automotive industry today? And yes, everybody, I'm using my phone because I'm very far cry from a lawyer and do not understand a single thing I'm reading, but these are questions that were obviously very similar to what our followers would post in our inbox when they need advice, and that's why we're tackling these questions. So after you answer this question, I'm going to then challenge you on something else.
Sure, 100%, go for it.
Okay.
So compliance legislation definitely would be your POPI Act.
I was going to ask about POPI Act.
Yeah. So that's very, very important when dealing with personal information, and to obviously receive the consent. And POPI can extend to everyday life. So, for example, you're not allowed to, in your everyday engagement, pass on someone else's cell phone number without their consent. Yeah. Or address details and so on, because it's personal information. And that extends obviously in the workplace as well, and there's repercussions when parties, namely your information officer and your deputy information officer, who are your representatives in the company for the compliance in terms of POPI, they would need to ensure that that POPI or the POPI Act is complied with. The other one would be your employment equity legislation. If you hold more than a certain number of employees in your business, or if you've been categorized in terms of the schedule in the Employment Equity Act. So, there's also fines or sanctions for not complying with the Employment Equity Act. So organizations must be aware of that and comply with that. And what's very interesting is, from a Companies Act perspective, and also the CIPC that deals with company registrations, it has been now mandatory since 2023, which now the CIPC has enforced this year, that a UBO needs to be nominated. So a UBO is an ultimate beneficial owner. And this is in line with FICA to prevent fraudulent activities and terrorism activities, and to actually understand who is the owner of the business. So a UBO can be any person that holds at least 5% of shareholding in the business. And CIPC has demanded that
when you say business, you mean like a PTY limited?
Any PTY limited, yeah, including
so this doesn't include like your NPCs, and the closed corporation don't exist anymore at the CC. So it's like just the PTY. So
so it would be your PTYs. It would be your association. So it would be any organization, even your trusts. Any organization that's recognized as a juristic person or as a business in South African law. So they would need to comply with a UBO. So who's the ultimate beneficial owner, who makes your decisions in terms of the company and the movement of the company as far as UBO. And this must be submitted with your AFS, or your annual financial statements, by June of each year. So this has now been mandatory, and CIPC has actually placed on their website a list of non-compliant companies. So it's important for you to have a look on the CIPC website, keep yourself abreast the legislation and the schedule, because they haven't openly promulgated any sort of requirements that you need to comply. If you do not look on their website, you won't even know about the UBO. And then when you do submit your returns in June, you will be threatened with a sanction or a fine or for non-compliance.
Okay, so that brings me to the question that I was going to ask you prior to this. If we have any questions, I know you're based in PE, I'm here, it'll be such a schlep to fly Airlink and come back. I have nothing against Airlink. I do fly them to Kimberley sometimes. But if I had to pose a question, would you be able to explain this on a video to because we do have a lot of questions in terms of compliance, and our dealer network is huge. We have, I think, 100,000 followers on all our platforms, and a lot of people are, they ask about the legalities. and I can talk woman empowerment, really I can talk about cars and the specs and that type of thing, but legal, we have our own very own beautiful, wonderful woman that's been with us for about 5 years, Inga Labuskhachni. She actually was an award winner as well at one point, and she's been guiding us and guiding the program as well. But it would be nice to have you also on board to share that responsibility, because it's a big country. You in PE, she's in Johannesburg, and yeah, it'd be good, the way you might relate to an audience and she might relate to an audience artist in two different ways, still saying the same thing, but it just empowers that narrative. So I would love to. Would you like to be on board?
I'd love to.
As our resident legal advisor. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about, we talked about cars, we talked about legalities. I want to talk about something very special. You're a single mom, okay, and you have a son that's autism. Tell us a little bit. Please let us educate all our ladies that are single moms. I have one single mom here that's very special to me. Many single moms, but there's one that's very special. Hello, Jolene. Jolene Ovenkamp, her son, he suffers from, I think, SMA, something muscular atrophy, and he's in a wheelchair. I had him on my show a couple of years ago, and so much came from that. Her strength and her resilience and the power within her to raise him as a single mom. It was a phenomenal experience, and she's still trending on our platforms. So I want to talk about autism. It's not common that, I think especially within our community. Can I call it in our community? So please tell us more about him. He's 8 years old?
He's 8 years old.
You have a 3-year-old as well?
And I have a 3-year-old.
Okay. So let's talk about the 8-year-old.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to actually talk about autism, because I'm very passionate about it. It's very misunderstood. And sadly, we do not have a lot of government funding towards special needs children. And that is something that I want to have as a side project as I get older and older and older, and want to really empower helpers and so on, because there's actually no degree in autism in the world at the moment. There's courses, but you can't actually get a degree to understand autism.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And sadly, there's a few schools that are operating where they have mentioned that they follow Google videos to understand autistic kids, and they would charge school fees to parents, and that was the saddest point for me. So, with autism, it is a neurological disorder. Okay. So if you have to understand if a person's brain, and it has various wires that are connecting this brain to the nervous system. With autistic kids, there is a disconnect between the wires in the senses. So when they receive a message, it does not transmit to the right sense. So there's a delay in recognizing a sound or voices, and that is why there is a lot of delay in communication. A lot of autistic children cannot talk. My son is one of them. He is non-verbal, and this is where a lot of therapy is needed. So this is where occupational therapy is needed, because they have struggles with gross motor, with running, with kicking a ball. So we're working on him to help him kick a ball, to jump. Simple things that we don't appreciate every day. That is a challenge for them. And we would use communication methods such as the Bechan system, which is more picture.
Can I meet him?
Of course you can.
So we have our plans on Saturday. I would love to take a photo with him, and I'd love to do a video, and I'd love to raise awareness, of autism. And and you know, obviously combine it with this little. I would love to do that. Wow, I did not know that the challenge could be.
There's different. So the spectrum.
So he's not verbal, but is he going to school?
Yes, he goes to a beautiful special needs school that really has developed a program for his unique needs.
Okay.
And also we have a program at home as well. So he is very routine based.
Okay.
If anything is out of his routine,
I heard about that. Right.
Then there's tantrums.
It gets them nervous. Right.
So we always have.
Have you ever heard of this little girl? Well, she's not little anymore. Her name is Paris.
Yes.
Okay, so she's the only other Indian autistic person I follow and know about, and she is absolutely talented. She's amazing, but I know her mom had shared a lot of her struggles. I've never met them, and this kind of is just resonating because my God, her art isn't. So does your son also like have some other capability? Because usually I think with autistic kids, they take to something and that becomes their comfort zone. So
they call it a splinter skill.
Okay.
And his splinter skill at this stage seems to be electronics with phones. He loves phones and he loves swiping up and down and sort of matching a little bit. So we're working on that because they will all have a certain skill. They will not have a broad sense of skills like us. They cannot multitask, not in this life. If you really want to demote them and really diminish their confidence, their self-confidence, you would ask them to do more than one instruction at a time.
Oh no.
Also, a misconception is autistic kids are naughty. No, they're not naughty. It's just you're giving them an instruction. They are not. The senses are not connecting to tell the brain that an instruction.
Does ADHD and autism, are there similar qualities there?
An autistic kid can be an ADHD kid as well.
Okay.
Because you see the spectrum has ADHD, autism, sensory processing disorders, so they can actually interconnect.
Wow. But when we did speak over the phone prior and I said, okay, we can discuss autism, I told you that my son has ADHD. But now that we're discussing this more in detail, there's some things that you are saying that resonating, and maybe it will resonate with a lot of our audience. Okay, now I realize why my son, when I ask him to bring something or multiple things, he comes back on one thing, or he starts noting, and he's studying law, by the way, so business law, and it makes me understand him better. So thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very, very much.
Pleasure. One thing I'd also just like to mention about autistic kids is, they are very loving children.
Yeah.
They're very
affectionate as well.
Very affectionate.
Yeah. Okay.
And hugs and kisses just promote their confidence.
I think my staff is just looking at you because they just know my son.
And once you have the love of an autistic child, it might require a little bit of effort. It's a love for life.
Oh shucks, I might be ADHD then. I love on everybody as well. Sorry to everybody. Now you know why I am who I am.
And then for some of our viewers, I've met a lot of people along the way, and I've had a few support groups that I've joined for autistic moms, and spoken to a lot of moms who, when they found out their kids were autistic, and tried to also be there to support them. And a lot of the times they mention to me is, but he speaks fine and he walks fine and he looks fine, but he just can't socialize with kids. So the school assessed him and they said he has autism. So there are different levels
spectrums
of autism. There's high functioning. So it's quite difficult for parents because the child would seem neurotypical. I don't like the word normal.
Okay.
We say neurotypical because an autistic child is also a normal child. Your child is your child. Yeah. So we use the word neurotypical.
What is normal anyway?
Yes, exactly.
We don't know. Are you normal? Am I normal? We're very different. So I that's a question I try to stay away from. Talking about his autism, and yes, we'll go much into detail on different occasions about it, and yes, we'll use our platforms to maybe even a combined platform that we can create for this purpose. But what I'd like to ask you, how did you like identify that, what's his name?
His name is Joel.
Thank you. Can we call him Joel? So how did you identify that Joel is autistic? And second part of the question is, when you did find out, how did you cope? How did you receive this? I'm not going to talk about my, I'm not at liberty to talk about what I'm going through right now in terms of my own challenges. I've got 2 kids, but one day I will, because it's not my place to talk about my situation. But with you, on the other hand, you get advice. I know how I received my news. How did you receive your news?
So my son was about 1 year old, and I took him to the pediatrician. My first child, obviously the first grandchild in the family. Everybody now wants this child to talk, and he's not talking at 1. And I didn't realize a 1-year-old was meant to be pointing at the age of 1.
Okay.
So the pediatrician mentioned to me.
But he was walking though.
He was walking.
Okay.
But little bit, wobbly. But we just thought, okay, it will come with age. The pediatrician said, I want to just screen for autism. And I have so much of time.
Sorry, but sorry about that. How do you screen for? What do they do to screen for autism?
Yeah. So one doctor I have so much time for. He's my favorite doctor in the whole wide world. The pediatrician doctor, David Purchase. He was the doctor at St. George's Hospital that actually diagnosed, I could say. A psychologist needs to diagnose the child.
So a psychologist does
but
it.
He picked it up immediately.
So there's no actual X-ray that goes on the brain? Or...
So it's because autism is a behavioral disorder as well. It would be sort of behavior like lack of pointing, laughing to yourself, spinning or stimming, so spinning, and then they would flap their hands. They do not like to be in large crowds. Like my son does not like to be in large crowds. He does not like to be at the mall. It stresses him out too much. So his ideal day out is him and his sister and perhaps his cousin going to the farm. Fewer people, nature, open space. So they are quite happy to play by themselves. They totally disregard any other children around them. Also, they see objects very differently. So I would see this bottle as a bottle. He would look at this, and then he'd start examining it.
Wow.
And then while he's doing but that's stimming. So now.
But like you would hear those words. Wow. Okay, so when you want something, like how would he request?
So he has developed through a lot of therapy communicative intent. So communicative intent is where he shows us what he would like. So he would fetch his bowl from the kitchen cupboard, or they would examine the object, and how a scientist would basically, like I said, examine this. But a 1-year-old is not meant to be doing this, or a 2-year-old is not meant to be doing this. A very common example is, instead of playing with the car the usual way, they'd spin the wheels of the car. Or a cell phone, what he would do with my cell phone at 1. That would be one of the ways that we
and watching TV, or like watching a video, does that keep him focused?
Any
can
program,
you follow?
Any program with singing. So my daughter loves Paw Patrol, but I can't have him watch that. So he has to watch something separate, like Cocomelon, because of the singing. And now she has outgrown Cocomelon because she's completely neurotypical. She's, to be honest, 3 going on 30 at the moment. Very lots of attitude.
We're gonna get there as well in terms of the. We'll get there in terms of the relationship.
So I have to accommodate her and accommodate him.
How do you do that?
I must be honest, my left arm and right leg is my nanny. So I have a full-time nanny, and Lizzie, if you when you do watch this, you are my right arm, my leg, left leg. I love you so very much.
Thank you,
she is there for me, left, right, and center, and my parents as well. They've been a big support to me. So my father will help with pickups on the days that I'm unable to.
Okay.
And then I just ensure that if we're in the vehicle, my daughter loves karaoke and she's very loud and bubbly, and he doesn't like that. So we'll have to
especially
adjust.
There's noises now that's unusual, or it's as you explained.
The volume, and then I'll have to explain to her. She actually said to me this week, "Mommy, we need to be kind," because she couldn't say kind. Because I'm teaching her now, we need to be kind to you. You need to be kind to your brother. He doesn't understand that when you're watching your Paw Patrol, he can't walk in circles around you, but he's walking around circles around it to calm himself down because he doesn't like Paw Patrol. So then I said to her, okay, let's put on something else for Joel. Okay, but mommy, why no Paw Patrol for Joel? So I said, no, Joel likes Cocomelon, Joel likes JJ. And then we will put something separate, or Lizzie will help me.
So wouldn't a better option be to have them have TVs in different rooms?
If possible, and now it's not possible for every home, but if you can, that would be the best.
Yes, when you have two kids, obviously they're different because you don't want to deprive
the one.
Yes.
And some mistakes that I've heard of from friends that are much older than me who had autistic kids was where they fixated on the special needs child and neglected the neurotypical child, and the neurotypical child acted out.
Yes.
With all sorts of wrong things as they grew older.
Right.
And for me, I'm trying to, it's not easy, but to accommodate my 3-year-old and understand her personality and what her needs are, as well as my son. And that's where my nanny would come in, is where I'm unable to do something for my son, she'll step in and she will assist him or give him that attention that he needs, or give that activity, and then we'll switch over. So I can then sit with him and she can sit with my daughter.
Sure. Wow. In terms of his communication now, I mean, what's his favorite food? Do you know that? Does he communicate that with you?
So if I'm making curry, he's standing by the stove.
She's Indian. We're going to talk about curry. Okay. Does he like curry?
Loves curry.
Okay.
Lamb curry.
Oh my God, my son too. Okay.
It's a Indian boy thing, must be.
Yeah.
So he's waiting. And he'll make.
I think that's going to be my caption of the video. Chronicles of the lamb curry, Joey.
Go for it. And so then I'll have to explain to him, the meat is raw. We have to cook it.
Aww.
We've got to wait.
Yeah.
And then he takes his bowl out. He's waiting.
Oh man.
Once the lamb curry is ready, I say, okay, now it's hot, boy. You got to wait.
Oh man.
Now chewing it while it's still hot.
Right.
So he does
you
really
speak
show us.
of him with such passion and such love.
He's my absolute world. Him and my daughter Mayra, and she was named Mayra because Mayra means light, and she brought the light into my life. She was the first child who, out of my 2, that called me mommy. The first one to tell me I love you. The first one to say good night, mommy. Little things that neurotypical parents, neurotypical children parents would not appreciate.
Right.
Something that I treasure every day.
Yes.
So,
because you don't get that from
Joel. I don't
Joey.
get it from Joel, yeah.
But then Joel gives you something that
gives me hugs and kisses.
Did you say neurotypical? Neurotypical kids will never give you. And I'm not talking about the hugs and kisses. It is that absolute unspoken language of love. It's not the hugs and kisses. I have that relationship with my son.
Unconditional love.
Yes.
There's no conditions.
There's no conditions. Absolutely. I don't want to compare them to a fur baby, okay? But it's like my fur babies. No matter what, and no matter how sick they are, my one is on her way out.
Let's not even get started about animals. I'm an animal lover.
How's Joel with animals?
I've had to teach him to respect animals because he's not really a lover animal. Animal lover. Sorry, tongue twister. I think it's because, again, it's a being that's in his space.
Right.
And I've got 2 of them. I've got 2 Labradors, black and a blonde. Whereas my daughter, the problem I'm having is to get her out from their beds because she wants to bring her pillow to sleep with him. So 2 very different personalities. And I think the importance there is to respect, and with any child, respect that child's personality. And as a parent, try and understand your child because it is a unique personality that's come into the world, whether they neurotypical or not.
Thank you for teaching me the word neurotypical. Because I have 2 very different children. I will call them both non-neurotypical children. Because they really are both non-neurotypical. No one is. For me, I don't know what normal is. You know, I don't know what was normal supposed to look like. Because trust me, I'm far from normal. But yeah, you know, so normal is boring anyway.
Normal is boring. There's no fun in it.
There's no fun in it. I mean, you're a lawyer, I'm a journalist. Those are serious things, okay? Those are serious. We just want to have fun at the beach, right?
I love the beach.
But PE beach is very cold, right? It's not like Durban.
Lately, we've been getting a lot of Durban's weather. Strangely enough.
The whole country is getting Durban's weather.
Except Durban.
Except Durban, yes.
With their terrible storms. I feel so sorry for them with the storms that they've been actually encountering. But yeah, any questions, any of the parents of our our audience that are moms or even dads have regarding autism or special needs kids, please, I've got an array of friends who are therapists, who are
well, what I can do is I have another group called Walking Warriors, and I'll put up your details on that group, and then they can ask questions there as well. And I think there's over 5,000 people, mostly GBV, rape and suicide survivors, single moms, that type of thing. And we start this discussion or this narrative of like, yes, I have a high position, or I am a lawyer, but I'm still a mom, and I'm a mom of a special kids, a single mom of a special kids or special need kid, and how can we help each other in the motoring trade? So thank you. You have gifted us. This was worth every second of that Airlink flight. I'm sure you took. Are you going back with Airlink?
No, I'm going back with Safi.
Safi, right. Yes. I have nothing against Airlink, okay? Just saying. I'm scared. It feels very confined, this space, because it looks like a bus. There's 2
You know what? Perhaps it's the claustrophobic.
Yeah, I think I'm claustrophobic.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm also claustrophobic. And I want to say thank you to you and your team for giving me this opportunity to empower other moms, other businesswomen, and I'd love to definitely help your organization wherever possible, wherever I can.
Thank you, and we're very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. And being a journalist, I obviously researched you thoroughly, okay, like a lawyer would do. But I think you're going to be an amazing addition to our platform, just empowering us more. And it's so refreshing to see a female of color in a legal position within the motoring space. So it is actually my first. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You make us very proud.
Oh, thank you very, very much.
Okay.
So thank you so much again for this opportunity.
You're welcome. We're gonna play a game now.
Okay.
We were very serious. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some questions, and it's kind of like, it's not kind of like, we stole this from 30 seconds, so it is 30 seconds. Okay. Okay, so when you need to spend money, what do you create? You can't spend too much.
The budget?
That's what.
Wow.
My gosh, I have no idea who this man is. I know his name, but
Okay, good.
Okay.
She doesn't know either.
Okay, there was, if it's not pretty, it is?
Ugly.
Right. And if it's not a goose, it is a?
Gander.
No. Ugly, the ugly?
Duckling.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's a capital of Texas. Or maybe Texas.
Dallas?
It's capital. No.
Dallas, Texas.
No, it's not Dallas, Texas. It's something Texas.
I don't really know.
Whitney's surname is what?
Houston.
Houston is in Texas, right?
I think
Right.
so.
Okay, I'm very confused. My cameraman. Okay, right. He's saying yes. Okay. Okay, this was a cricketer. Okay, back in the day. I can't say in our time. I don't know how old you are, but oh goodness gracious! I hope he was a cricket player. But anyway, his surname is his first name is. Okay, what is this?
A bottle.
No, this.
Lid.
What's that thing you wear on your head?
Cap.
Right. So his name is that?
Captain.
Cap.
No.
And his surname, cap, just keep the cap, but it's not complete. And then the surname is, they say you can't serve from an empty what?
Tray. No. This is difficult.
This one is, okay, his name is Kepler Vessels. You can't.
Oh, Captain Vessels.
Who is he? It is a cricket player, right?
I think so.
Is he a cricket player, guys? Okay. You can't serve from an empty vessel. I always say this on my program. You're not watching enough of my episodes, okay? I'm just kidding. Okay, it's a razor blade. It's the make of it.
Okay.
What is it? Very popular. The most famous one.
Gillette.
Yes. They all got it. They're all smiling over there. Okay, so it is not our lovely planet. It's another planet.
Venus.
No.
Jupiter.
Yeah.
Gonna go through all 9 of them.
Okay, we used to go and watch movies there. I watch Netflix now, but what's that the place called? Not New
Can you go?
Thank you. Yeah. This is so much of fun, but I don't know anything else to ask you. Okay, let's try this one just for the fun of it. Okay, you know when you say when you're playing the piano, and then there's those musical notes.
Yeah.
So what are the first two when you're singing?
I have no idea.
Like
Do, re.
Yes. Say it.
Do, re, mi.
Right. That's what's written here. Do, re, mi.
Oh wow, okay, I got it.
That's so cool. I wish I could just play 30 seconds like the whole show.
thing.
But then we wouldn't get autism talk done and all of that. But it's my turn. Make it easy. I don't know Hollywood, just by the way, and I do not know singers and music.
Alright.
Except if it's Bollywood.
I'll make it easy for you.
Okay.
Where do the king and queen live?
Yeah, in I'm the queen, my husband's the king. Let me not give my address. In London.
No.
Oh, in the Buckingham Palace.
Okay, but what is that called? The structure?
A castle.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Kids love to. So, I'm born in the 80s, and we used to love
Are you?
climbing. Yes.
I was scared to ask. Okay.
Okay. So
Early 80s or late 80s?
later 80s.
Okay.
So we used to love climbing trees. Sorry. Kids nowadays like to play.
Playbox. I mean Xbox.
There we go. Okay.
Playbox. My son would kill me if he had to watch
Okay.
this.
A very popular show, South African soapy drama that was very popular on SABC 1 in the 2000s.
There was two I watched.
Okay.
Generations
There we
and
go.
Isidingo.
Generations.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
And you know Karabo, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful Karabo. Okay, so this is a very popular place to study in Gauteng for tertiary education.
There's UJ and then there's Butts.
But okay.
So I did have that card before, by the way, but people describe it differently. So
okay, so there's a very, very, very famous model in our days. She was first
I literally
model.
just got that card. It's Cindy Crawford.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got that card last week. So I think maybe use the card behind it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so clever.
Okay. I've asked you that. Okay, the last one. You've got moves like
Mick Jagger.
There we go.
Isn't Mick Jagger.
Mick
See,
Jagger.
and I told you I don't know any Hollywood stuff.
well
It was
done.
so fun. Thank
did
you.
it did quite well.
Thank you very much.
Very
It's so
smart. You see the comment that she's not very intelligent. She got all of her questions right. Well done.
Thank you. I love it when women can fix each other's crowns. Is that what they say?
Yes.
And they do say that it's becoming like so like niche, not niche. What's that word? Cliche. Fix one another's crowns. You just did it. You fixed my crown, and it's not supposed to be a cliche. It was supposed to be what you apply and what you do every day. She just did it. So thank you for being the change that we wish to see in this industry and beyond. We women need to stand together. We need to amplify each other's voices, and we definitely need to speak out. And that's exactly what you did.
I always say clap for the woman that's doing well until it's your turn.
But then someone else for you. I love that. I'm clapping for you now.
I'll clap back for you.
Thank you so much. And I'll see you in PE.
Yes, on Saturday.
Yes,
can't wait.
Excited. Okay, so we also extend our gratitude to our viewers for engaging with our content by watching, commenting, and sharing our interviews. Our non-profit initiatives include the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, powered by MHC and Evo by Nedbank, and the Talk the Talk Studios, supported by Seriti Solutions, focused on honoring and celebrating the women in the South African motoring industry, women just like Crystal over here. Our mission goes beyond storytelling. We strive to make a positive impact on lives, and together we are dedicated to empowering and uplifting women within our industry, and as I said earlier on, and beyond. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, we invite you to explore www.auto.evo.africa, where you'll find thousands of cars for sale, all from very reliable and reputable MFC accredited dealerships. Our car listing portal is designed for ease of use and is also it also features vehicle reviews, as well as tips, advice, and car maintenance provided by Talk the Talk Studios. So ladies, today I want to touch on the power of motivation. Whether your goal is to become an expert in a field or simply learn enough to hold your own in a conversation, motivation is key. So it is so important to understand that you need to stay motivated. Whether your goal is to become an expert in a field or simply learn enough to hold your own in a conversation, motivation is key, as I said. They are often more complex than they appear at first glance, or things are often more complex, but simply reading one article or book won't cut it. And motivation is what drives you to sift through endless resources, absorb knowledge, and keep learning. So stay focused, stay motivated, and always remember that the question should never be, who's going to let me? It should always be, who's going to stop me? You say it. It's going to be, who's going to
stop me?
Absolutely.